Darkcast Network, indie pods with a dark side.
Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Kelly.
And you're listening to ODFM.
This episode is one Drew Carey from Murder.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
No, nobody saw that shit coming. That's why it's on there.
I love it.
Yes, well, I'm not saying Drew has anything to do with the murder, but he's definitely a part of the story.
Ooh. Okay, I love it. These are the ones that I really like because I want to know how do we bring this full circle?
Relate back to Drew. It's amazing.
Yes. All right.
It's a really good story. Yeah, and you know how my son got to meet him kind of on stage.
What?
At
Whose line is it anyway,
Whose line is it anyway? Yes.
Yeah.
So he got to act in their little thing, and then Drew Carey's running after him to say thank you and give him a hug, and Gavin's just jumps off the stage, and I'm like, whee!
Oh my God!
Drew Carey tried to hug you! Oh, well.
Dang!
I know. Anyway, so I'm a fan. Okay, so this is actually the story of Amie Harwick.
Okay.
So Amie grew up in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. It's a place that was just too small for her giant personality. So she's like one of those fiery, passionate, motivated people.
I was waiting for you to say Columbus, Ohio, because isn't that where the show was?
Oh,
the Drew Carey show was from?
I think you're right.
I just remember they ended the song with Ohio.
Right, the Cleveland.
Yeah. Maybe it was Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah.
Cleveland, Ohio. It was Ohio, though.
It was Ohio.
Okay, but we're in Pennsylvania. Okay, you threw me, but okay.
I know. Cool. You'll just have to see when he comes into this. Amie's super weird in all the great ways. So she's
okay. We like
us. Yes. So she loves heavy metal. She wore dark clothing and makeup, but she's not like this moody recluse. She's vibrant and ridiculously gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous.
Okay.
Insane. So she's deciding she wants to make a big splash on the world, and her friend in LA tells her, you got to come out to California. Oh. So she's like, absolutely, here I come. So she goes to LA. Immediately, Amie becomes a frequent face in the Hollywood scene. She's at parties, she's at events.
I'm impressed.
I know. She's like, I think part of it is she's so gorgeous that she's accepted in, but also she's outgoing and super friendly. So everyone's like, yeah, bring her.
Nope. Bringing the hot chick?
Bring the hottie.
I'm having a party. Oh, can I come? Can you bring your hot friend?
Yeah, I guess.
Then yes.
Then let's do it. So Amie's like a go-getter. She's not afraid to work to get the life she wants. And most people in LA are there hoping to become actors.
Of course, yes.
But that is not Amie's goal at all.
Oh.
You'll never guess. But her dream is to become a family and marriage therapist. Totally not what...
So... It's not what I see people moving to LA for, but I feel like it's something that a lot of people in LA need. So maybe she was going because that's where the market is?
Oh, absolutely. There needs to be. That's a huge niche.
Smart.
Yeah.
Right.
She was just being smart.
Right.
She puts herself through school. She hustles at jobs like go-go dancing, modeling, and she's even hired to work at the Playboy Mansion with her fire-eating performances. I mean, this girl does everything.
How does one start that?
I don't know.
Have you ever thought about that? I always wondered about, the sword swallowers.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
How many people thought that they could do that and failed miserably on the first try? How do you learn that you can do that?
Right. I'm going to start with a butter knife.
Exactly. Here's how I'm going to try that. This is why, I hesitate to let my kids watch things on America's Got Talent because I don't want them to see shit that I'm like, this is not a do this at home kind of situation.
I'm going to go hang by my nipples from chains. Yes, that sounds so appealing.
I walk into the room and Gavin's got an arrow on fire and he's posed Ella in front of,
God.
I don't need that shit.
No, absolutely. And this is the shit this girl could do because she's just everything. So she gets hired for fire eating. So she gets hired for all these events in Hollywood.
I don't even like
that.
Spicy food. I mean,
And now my gullet is singed. She quickly, though, earns her master's degree in clinical psychology all through these gigs and stuff. She pays her way through. And she's working towards her doctorate, paying for it entirely in cash from all her side gigs.
Oh my God.
And no, she is not a prostitute.
She pays for it in cash. Could you see her going up to the...
the registrar's office.
Yeah, exactly. Here, hold on. Let me count my ones. 1, 2, 3.
How much time you got?
Right, exactly. Oh, wow.
Amazing. So she is obviously very smart that she's becoming a doctor. Mm-hmm. Soon, she is a full-fledged doctor of psychology, and her life just keeps getting better. She becomes a marriage therapist, though her relationship history isn't the rosiest of love stories, which, it kind of seems to be the thing with marriage therapists.
Okay, I do know quite a few people who are therapists, and it's...
Yeah.
They're very good at helping other people, but sometimes you're not the best at helping yourself.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's just been my experience, and it doesn't mean that they're bad people. But then they also don't feel like they need to seek out help from other people. Right. Again, this is just in my experience, because they're like, well, I know this stuff.
Right. And I should be able to apply it to myself. Right.
Exactly. But, whatever.
I wonder if a lot of them go to school because they're like, I want to learn how to deal with my issues. So I'm going to become a therapist so that I can deal with my own and then help other people.
Right.
So she dates around the Hollywood scene. She dated people like Crispin Glover for a bit. He was Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah. He was the dad in Back to the Future. He was like the creepy guy in like the Charlie's Angels movie.
Oh, yeah.
He's weird.
He's a weird dude.
Well, I don't know if he's a weird dude or he just really likes to take weird parts.
It could be both because totally cool because she also dates Marilyn Manson and Dave Navarro.
Okay. When you said that she dressed like dark colors, was very pretty, I was thinking of like my mind went to Marilyn Manson and when he was dating Rachel Evan Wood and Rose McGowan. Like they all had that dark goth but very gorgeous face.
Yep. And she's along these lines too. And she's like the type that loves weird taxidermy and the macabre. Like I don't love taxidermy, but I love like cemeteries and stuff. And she was the same.
So yeah, okay. So I see that she could have dated. Okay, I see that.
Totally.
But that's what I pictured in my mind when you described her.
Perfect. You pictured her correctly. So these were sometimes contentious relationships, as many in the spotlight are. And we've kind of heard about Marilyn Manson and how he is.
Yeah, we've heard not great things.
Yeah. So
he's been in the news lately.
Yeah, he's done some things. Or is allegedly done some things.
Right. Allegedly has been accused of things.
So one guy she dated is not a famous dude, but he is the more toxic of all of her relationships.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. His name is Gareth Pursehouse. And he too is this gorgeous dude, like model material.
Okay.
He's a photographer and he meets Amie while not photographing, but photographing.
Same thing. Same difference.
He's photographing. That's hilarious. He's photographing her for a modeling job because she's also a model.
Okay.
Gareth is one of those guys who he thinks he's like the funniest dude in the room.
Okay.
But he's actually the only one that thinks he's funny.
Oh, I hate that man.
They're just annoying. Yeah. His big dream is to become a stand-up comedian, but he's terrible at it. Like,
okay.
The show I was watching, they showed a little bit of a gig of his, and it was just, you just like are cringing, embarrassed for the dude. Like, ooh, like get off the stage, man. Nobody, ooh. So not only is he not very funny, but he's a terribly jealous boyfriend of Amy's.
These are all adding up to be bad news.
Really bad red flags. If the pair would go to a party together and he thought guys are looking at her too much, he would step in front of them and start making out with her to basically claim her, I guess. Look, she's mine. I'm making out with her.
Pee on her. God.
Marking my territory.
Jeez.
Gross. So, of course, that's off-putting to her. And they date for a couple of years. They even live together for a little bit.
Wow.
But eventually, Amie decides she's done with it, and she breaks things off. But Gareth's not the type to go quietly, so he'd ask... God. I know, they never are. They're so annoying. So he'd ask friends to send her messages or links to sappy songs.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
His friends are just begging him, like, dude, give up. You're great looking. Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but He's so obsessed with getting her back, he can't think of anything else. After continuous harassment and constantly showing up where he wasn't wanted, Amie files a restraining order against him. So she thinks, okay, if I take legal measures, Gareth will get the message. He's going to leave me alone for good, but we know how that works.
In case I'm not saying it clear enough, I am getting the police involved.
Right.
We're done.
But somehow that makes it even worse. His obsession gets even worse. Like, oh, I've got to have you now. You don't want me? I'm going to show you you do. Gareth happens to also be very good with computers to the point that he knew how to hack or infiltrate information on the internet, which is also not cool.
Shit.
Sucks. He's that type of psycho. So in 2012, Amie applied to work in a prison as a therapist. Like, she wanted to help people.
Oh, that seems like not a great place for an attractive woman to go in. Oh, God. Sorry.
Exactly. So, but they're doing her background check, and nude photos of Amie start to arrive to the prison.
Oh, see, no, that's not going to help.
No, that doesn't help.
Any career, that's not going to help. But again, I feel like this is bad.
So she had modeled for Playboy some years prior. I mean, all of this was to get her degrees. She was like,
right.
You know, and it was coming back to haunt her now. So she lost that job opportunity, and she actually felt that her career as a marriage and family therapist was like totally over now because he would never stop and he would sabotage every job she tried for.
Well, you don't want to be in a therapy session with somebody and you're trying to get them to talk about their feelings and you can feel them undressing you with their eyes.
I know.
That's probably not.
It's a little
Hi, eyes up here. We're trying to talk about your problems. I think I know why your wife left you. Like,
you can't concentrate on her.
Right.
Yeah. So she feels like her reputation is totally sullied and she's devastated. I mean, all the years she's put in.
Oh my God. Right. All the time, all the money, all the hustling and
so much. So her goal is totally shattered, and so is her dream. But one of her friends comes out and she's like, you know what? She's joking, but she's like, you should totally be a sex therapist.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what the friend was like, ha ha ha. But Amy's like,
no one will care that she's got naked pictures?
Exactly. And Amy's like, light bulb moment. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
I mean,
yeah.
All right.
Oh, what else did it?
That's a choice.
It's a choice, but she's also a very uncontained type of personality. And she's like, heck
so
yeah.
So it's her. Okay. All right.
I'll help people. So she goes back to school again. This time she gets a degree in human sexuality. The move ends up being an even greater career path for her.
Oh.
Which actually is a great thing. Being in LA as a sex therapist was phenomenal. Like, you think of, say you're in Kansas, probably not going to do so great.
There's probably
not a whole lot, but LA's like fringe and everybody's wanting to know things.
There's going to be a good, I don't want to say audience.
Base.
Client base. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And she gets so popular, she even authors a book, The New Sex Bible for Women.
Oh, as opposed to the old one?
I guess.
There was an old one. So the Old Testament and the New Testament? Is that what we're saying? Like,
this one has new creatures.
Oh, God.
It makes me think of, what was that old lady that always had the sex books and she would have people on and tell them how
Ruth?
Dr. Ruth! Yes, she's the new Dr. Ruth. She is a rising star. She's featured on TV shows and in magazines.
Oh, so this is working out pretty good.
It's doing great for her. So Amie isn't even close to average looking, as we've talked about.
Yeah.
So she does run into some problems with clients who are more interested in her than in getting the therapy that she's providing.
That's not the kind of therapy. It's not a euphemism.
No, it's not like I'm going to have sex with you. I'm teaching you how to have better sex. This is not like
going to a quote-unquote massage parlor.
No, I did not get this degree for that. After Gareth, Amie is dating Marilyn Manson, and her birthday rolls around, and Marilyn was supposed to take her to dinner. But he was notorious for having his reversed sleeping schedule, where he wasn't up earlier than around 10 p.m. So,
oh, yeah, dinner service is over.
So friends are like, yeah, Amie, I don't think he's going to show up, you know. But it's her birthday, and he should.
Right, and he said, oh my God, okay. I have to set an alarm so I can take her to dinner. Get up.
It's so bizarre. So she had warned him, though, that, you know what, you don't meet me for dinner on my birthday, I'm going to go and party without you.
Yeah, as well she should.
Yes. So to no one's surprise, Marilyn doesn't show up.
Okay.
And Amie goes to party anyway. At that party, she meets Drew Carey. This is where Drew comes in. Amie tells Drew, she's like, yeah, my boyfriend stood me up. And Drew, being the sweet person he is, he's like, yeah, maybe you should hang out with people that aren't going to stand you up on your birthday.
Right.
Let me take you out next week.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So he takes her out. He takes her to Disneyland.
Kick-ass dates.
And she comes back and she tells friends she's never laughed so hard or had so much fun with a dude before. Like, you know, girlfriends, yeah, it's all fun, but guys usually aren't.
That's a very strange, like, you know, like when you go from a boyfriend to another boyfriend and they're opposites. I mean, this is
absolutely opposite. The two, Drew and Amie, become a couple quickly. They move in together.
All right.
Drew whisked Amie off to Paris and he proposed to her.
Wow.
He happily agreed. Yes. I mean, they had probably dated about a year by then or so.
Thanks, Marilyn, for standing her up.
Thanks,
Good
Marilyn.
Job.
Good
did
work.
Her a favor.
Total favor. After their engagement, the two try to keep it quiet, you know, but you know how that goes. So Amie is, by this point, being cyber-stalked by an old friend. I mean, these people are ruthless. It's like once you get popular somehow, they want to take you down, you know. So this old friend is posting lies all over the internet about her, making mad shit up about her.
Jealous.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And wants to take her down. So soon, the National Enquirer comes knocking.
Oh, God.
They catch wind of all this stuff. And so they're like, well, Amie, we're going to run an article with all the lies unless you and Drew give us an exclusive scoop about your engagement.
Oh, God.
And that's them. They're like, ugh.
That's gross.
Of all the places, we don't want to do that. But
right. Yeah. Here's where we're going to announce our engagement in the Enquirer.
So lovely. I know. And that's exactly how they felt. But to save her reputation and to get rid of all these stupid lies, they do give the scoop to the National Enquirer. And then on Valentine's Day, they announce their engagement on The Price is Right. And it's so cute.
That's so much better. That's so much better than the Enquirer. That's not where you want to...
Totally. And that's why they did it. They were like, well, we'll give them the scoop, but we're going to one-up it with a great announcement on The Price is Right. And it's so cute. Cool. There's like a whole video about it.
Aww.
Adorable. Now that their relationship is truly public, Amy's even more in the public eye. And the lack of privacy puts her on guard, especially because she has so many stalkerish admirers.
Yeah, damn. That sucks.
I
know what it's like. It's, you know, right?
Oh,
we know.
We get so many admirers.
You know, tens
of halves of one.
In my mind.
We're just bombarded.
There was that one guy that was just trying to return the thing that fell out of my pocket. You know, but he was totally stalking me.
He kept following me, and I'm like, dude,
follow me all the way to my car. He's like, you dropped your keys.
Exactly. So we all know the miserable judgments the public likes to make against anyone in the spotlight. It's insane.
Gotta pick you apart, right?
Mm-hmm. And Amie and Drew's relationship is no exception. So at the time, Drew's 59 and Amy's 36.
He is not that old.
Yeah, can you believe it? He's over 60 now. I wouldn't have thought so either.
I
wouldn't have thought so either.
59 and she was 35. But
36. Yep. That's not that much. You know, if she was 21 or something, I would think.
Oh yeah, then that would be totally gross.
But
no, she's a grown woman.
Yeah, and with a great career. But she's tagged as a gold digger because of this. Even though she has this thriving career.
She was doing fine the way she was. She wasn't a gold digger.
She didn't need anybody. Yeah, she was doing wonderful. So Amy's accomplishments were often ignored in the public realm, while people preferred to focus on her relationship with Drew.
Right.
And Drew, kudos to him because he was super annoyed by it. And he was telling people, I wish I wasn't famous so people could see how amazing she is. Because if they could see her without me there. Isn't that sweet? He was such a good guy. Even though they were so in love, the relationship becomes strained with the public pressure.
Because of all that. You guys are ruining it. This is why we can't have nice things.
This was a great love story, you bitches.
People suck.
People suck. So Amie became too uncomfortable with the negative attention and feeling that no one saw her for anything other than Drew's woman of the moment. So she...
Even though they were engaged?
Even though they were engaged, neither one could handle it. It just became too strained and it
sucks.
Messed up their relationship. So in November of 2018, Amie calls the police to their shared home. This was while they were still together.
So they're still together and they're still living together and they're still a couple.
Yeah, I kind of wrote this afterwards, but so she saw someone creeping around the property and she was by herself and panicked when she caught sight of a lurker. I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
She had gotten continuous threats and all from online and as well as from her creepy ex. Remember that Gareth dude?
Oh, yeah.
So that was part of the reason she decided to split with Drew. It became too much and she hoped it would stop the harassment if she left the limelight somewhat.
Gotcha. She's just going to go into hiding.
Yeah. So that was in 2018. 2 years later, on Valentine's Day of 2020, 16 months later, Amie still isn't over Drew. Obviously, because he was such a good guy. And he had been such a huge source of love and happiness in her life that she decides she's going to reach out to him again.
Okay.
So she texts him and asks if she can see him soon. And Drew is thrilled. Oh. He is so happy. And he tells her, oh my God, I'm so happy you reached out to me. I still love you. Oh, so cute. He's looking forward to reconnecting. And that night, so it's Valentine's night, I guess you would say, she decides to go out to celebrate Galentine's with all her girlfriends.
Oh, yeah, right.
Instead of dates or anything.
Totally.
They go to a show. They have a blast. I think I saw the show was like a burlesque thing. And
have you seen there's a new burlesque that's The Empire Strips Back? A friend of mine went and saw it. She said it was awesome. And I'm like, I would totally go see that.
Are they dressed as stormtroopers?
I think there was like obviously Princess Leia in the slave costume, I'm sure.
Totally. You have to. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, you said burlesque and that's where I was like, oh yeah, The Empire Strips Back.
Strips back. That is amazing.
Okay.
Yes,
anyways, maybe she saw that. Who knows?
Maybe. Sounds amazing. She goes home after that. The next morning, a friend gets a text from Amy's roommate saying that Amie had been assaulted. Please come down to the police station.
Oh, God.
Amy's friends, they call each other. They all gather at the police station because the police were like, yeah, we need to talk to all you guys. We have some questions. And they're told horrible news that Amie was dead. She had been found on the ground 20 feet below the balcony at her residence.
Oh, my God.
She had fallen from the balcony, but her injuries showed she had suffered much worse than the long fall. So she had brutal head wounds, and her hands showed severe self-defense trauma. Investigators searched the home. They find rosary beads scattered through the place.
Oh.
She had been wearing them that night. Apparently.
Oh, my God. Okay.
And they led out to the balcony like it had been ripped off of her.
So she was attacked at home. Mm-hmm. In her home.
In her own
And she
place.
had a roommate.
Yes. He lived on the floor beneath her. It's kind of like they had separate residences in a giant house.
Okay.
The most ominous thing they came across, though, was a syringe filled with some fluid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Freaky. So when they test the fluid in the syringe, it comes back as nicotine. Bizarre.
That comes in I didn't know it's liquid?
Yeah, I know I've seen where people will fill their vapes and stuff with a liquid.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I don't know much about it. Dr. Neil Benowitz, he's an expert on nicotine. He says if you take it orally by mouth or by skin, then it takes much longer because absorption takes a while. But if you have it intravenously, then you can die within minutes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I didn't know nicotine was deadly intravenously. Oh.
Bizarre, right?
Okay.
Amie had not been injected with it, but it would have been a fatal dose had she gotten a jab of it. And it was likely the killer planned to use that as the murder weapon.
Oh, my God.
But the room showed obvious signs of a struggle. Amie likely fought hard enough that her assailant couldn't inject her.
Oh, my God.
There was broken glass, the balcony door shutters were ripped off, and blood was on the floor. So there was no question at this point that Amy's death is intentional. It's not an accident. Like she just didn't fall from the balcony.
Right, exactly.
So the autopsy shows bones in her neck had been broken, like the hyoid bone, and that she had died from strangulation and injuries consistent with a fall from a considerable height. Investigators felt that because of the strangulation and the planning, that the assailant was very angry with Amie and obviously knew her.
Personal kind of thing, not an impersonal kind of thing.
Super personal.
Was she sexually assaulted? Did they say?
They didn't say in this report. That would have been yeah.
I was just curious.
I know. From the violence of the attack, it makes you wonder, though.
Yeah.
Amy's roommate, like I said, he lived a floor beneath her. He told the cops that he thought he heard a plate smashing on the floor above him while he was sleeping. That was like at 1-ish a.m.
Okay.
And now, he kind of went back to sleep. It's like, oh, she dropped something.
Right, yeah.
But investigators now think that that's when the intruder broke through the glass of the French door into her home. Oh.
Oh.
But then the roommate's jolted awake because he hears Amie screaming. And he heard sounds of like bodies falling on the floor and more muffled screams, like someone's
oh my God. Okay.
holding her mouth. So in a frenzy to help Amie, like he's searching around for his phone and he can't find it. So he starts yelling and he's trying to scare away the assailant. Like, I'm here, Amie.
Oh my God.
So he runs outside to run for help, but he must have run out the back door because he's trapped inside the courtyard to their place.
Oh, shit.
And he's like frantic. He's trying to hurry. So he...
Oh, my God.
I know. Because this is totally something I would do. I'd be like totally running out the wrong door and be like, what do I do? He has to scale a tall metal fence. He gets all cut up, but he makes it across to the other side.
Oh, my God.
I know. He knocks on his neighbor door repeatedly, gets no response, which I'm like... Fuck you, answer your fucking door.
Oh my God, go to the next house. Let's go.
Yep. So he runs across the street to another neighbor's house. Same thing. They wouldn't answer. He sees someone walking down the street. He runs after him. Luckily, that person has a phone and calls 911.
I didn't run screaming from him as well.
Right.
Right. Calls 911. Some asshole's chasing me.
Tell him to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So all that time took like almost 7 minutes.
It was a lot of
or
time if you're
something.
being
strangled.
attacked. That's a lot of, oh God.
So he was trying to hurry, but then the police get there in the ambulance. They make it there really fast. But by then, Amie is lying unresponsive in the courtyard under her balcony. That poor roommate. I can't even imagine.
Why didn't he just go to her house, her door?
I'm not sure. I wonder if they had separate entrances and stuff.
Maybe he did. Oh, yeah.
And maybe he was scared shitless.
He just figured the best thing to do was to call 911 first.
To go get help first.
Not thinking it was going to take so long to call 911.
And can't find your phone. Oh, that's totally...
This is why I always have my phone next to me when I go to sleep. Because
Right. It's right there. So, of course, the first people that the police look at are all the men in her life.
Right.
So since Drew and Amie had just exchanged texts the day before, and because of their prior breakup, he's questioned. I mean, what timing?
Oh, God, he must have been absolutely crushed.
It's so sad.
Oh, my God.
You can tell he's still, not over it in the stuff I was watching. But he's quickly cleared with alibis and without any violent past or anything. Friends come forward, and they are like, you need to check out Gareth Purse House, this former guy that she had been dating. So police dig up the restraining orders that Amie had put on him years before. Years before.
Yeah, this had been a while now.
Yeah. In Amy's report, she wrote, quote, Gareth Pursehouse forced me to the ground, covered my mouth to prevent my yelling, and kicked me. And she said there were multiple arguments in which Gareth Pursehouse choked me, suffocated me, pushed me against walls, kicked me, dropped me to the ground with force, restrained me, slammed my head to the ground, and punched me with a closed fist. So this wasn't like he was just a little violent. This dude was violent.
He was violent, and he wasn't just not taking no for an answer. He attacked her multiple times. Oh my.
And the sad thing was her friends didn't really realize how bad it was. She kept it so much to herself that they knew some of it, and they were telling her, you need to drop this dude. But
right.
They had no idea of the extent of it. Which also, I think, is therapists, too. They're like, I can deal with my own stuff. I'm not going to put it on anyone else.
Right, exactly. Wow.
A friend shared with police that once, when Gareth and Amie were arguing in his car, Amie asked him to stop to let her out. He refused and bashed her head against the headrest.
Oh, my God.
And apparently this would happen a lot, where they would fight in the car, and he would push her out of the car and leave her stranded in random places. Great guy. It was bad enough that Amy's friends were scared to speak out about Gareth because he's so vindictive.
Oh, my God.
Years, he will take people down around him, doesn't matter how.
Jeez.
Oh, because of his computer skills, he's great at pushing all these rumors out to everybody and possibly even hacking. one time when Amie was teaching a sex class in China, which, wow, China.
Wow, she was all the way in China?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she was hired and
he still got to her?
Yeah. So when she was gone, she gets home and she realizes someone's broken into her house. But it's not like they take electronics or valuable things. All her photo albums are gone. Fucking creepy. And some of her photos were turned upside down in their frames and stuff. Like,
oh my God.
Creepy.
Yeah.
And then she goes to open her computer and it won't start up. It's not working. It had been completely wiped. So weird. So she's sure it's got to be Gareth.
Yeah.
Creepy. So the next day, Gareth shows up. He's trying to do that romantic deal of playing music outside her house and serenading
her. Really? Right after doing that?
Yeah.
Dude, you are the worst person at flirting ever.
Delusional.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they did that music outside of the house and say anything.
Yes.
I've seen that movie many times. At no point did he break into her house and take all her pictures.
So not romantic. That's just way creepy.
I don't know what movies you're watching, man, but...
but wrong ones. Wrong ones. Yeah, so after that, for a long time after they broke up, like years, he would randomly show up wherever she was.
God.
And she couldn't figure out how he's constantly finding her. It's not like LA is a small place, you know?
Right.
And she was sure he was tracking her phone and her computer monitoring her somehow. Ugh. And not only was he following her around, she was also being harassed constantly online. And though she couldn't prove it, she's sure it's him. You know, it was just every online article about her, you know, in the comment sections below, somebody would be spouting lies about her. Oh yeah, saying things like, oh, she's got an online degree or something and all that, even though she had worked so freaking hard. So the month before Amy's murder, Amie was on the red carpet for the XBiz Awards. I had to look it up. It's a sex awards type.
Sex awards?
Yeah. I've had
guys tell me like I'm an award-winning, you know, but I didn't know that there was actually an award.
Well, you should maybe get nominated. So, yeah, so the XBiz Awards, she's on the red carpet getting her picture taken. And who happened to be one of the photographers at the event?
Get the frick out. Come on.
Gareth. He immediately jumps onto the carpet and he begins screaming at her. Like in front of, there's crowds of people, you know, watching these people walk the red carpet. He's yelling at her about how she had ruined his life. She's such a slut. You're such a bitch.
Who ruined whose life? What?
That Amie ruined his life. What? At this point, though, the two had been broken up for 10 years.
Oh my God, dude.
Still hasn't moved on. Oh. He was so over the top emotional that he fell to the ground bawling and goes into the fetal position on the red carpet.
Wow. Also very attractive.
Also not hot. Ew.
No. God. You're right. Never mind. Let me take you back.
Yeah, let me help you. Amie is like so horrified and embarrassed. She tries to reason with him and goes into therapist mode. You know, she's trying to calm him down. She thinks she's got him calmed down. She leaves the event afterwards. She was supposed to go to like the after parties and stuff, but she's like,
who wants to do that now?
Right. And she's scared to death. She's like, this guy, 10 years, and he won't get off his, get off of me. Get off of me. So she was scared enough that she told friends that she's afraid for her life. If anything happens to me, look at Gareth.
Oh, such a red flag. I've never had anyone tell me if anything ever happens to me. But like, that's like...
It's in every crime show. Yeah. In an email, and this is that night that she saw him on the red carpet, she wrote, quote, "It terrifies me that he's been obsessed with me for 9 years." So I guess it was 9 years.
Yeah.
"He's malicious, highly intelligent, and focused on harming me." Yikes. When questioned, so the police go, they're like, okay, we're going to go talk to this guy. Gareth says, oh, yeah, I was home the whole night of Valentine's night. I couldn't have been the one to kill Amie.
Right. I was at home. The end.
But they look at him, and he's got all these injuries on him. Whoops, what's that on you?
Got into a fight with a bush.
Again, it happens all the time. They see the injuries on him, and they get a search warrant on his home.
Good.
Had enough enough evidence from everyone, all of her friends saying, look at this guy. There at his home, they find bloody clothes and syringes filled with the same substance as the one found in Amie's house.
Hey, what a coinky dink.
Weird. Why do you have all these?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they take him into custody. And when the tissue under Amie's nails are tested, it's Gareth's 100%.
I am so not surprised.
So not surprised.
Wow.
So Gareth is held on a $2 million bail or bond, whatever, while the investigation continues and he waits trial. He posts bail, which I didn't know this, but it only needs to be 10% of the total cost.
What?
At least there. I know. I was like, what?
That's it? 10%?
No wonder he could make it. And now Amie's friends, they're like, oh shit, he's out.
And we told him, we told the police his name.
We told the police his name, and he's a vindictive dick, so
God,
he's going to come after us. One of the terms of the bond, though, was that he wasn't to cross borders or try to leave, but he's seen near LAX. So police are called, and he's taken back into custody, and his bond is revoked.
Thank God.
Thank God, because they're pretty sure he was going to run. Police believe that Gareth Pursehouse broke into Amie's home on Valentine's night and waited for her.
Oh, God.
They think his intention was to inject her with the nicotine while she was sleeping and make it look like an overdose. Mm-hmm. But that Amie fought back hard and he wasn't able to carry out the plans he had. August 30th of 2022, 2 years after Amie's death at the preliminary hearing, Gareth pleads not guilty.
By reason of?
I don't know.
Oh, it wasn't me.
I'm just not guilty.
I just also happen to have syringes with nicotine. It's a very common thing to have.
Because of COVID, there was a delay in him going to trial, but his trial date is set for February 28th of this year, like in a week, basically. From
oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay.
So now the jury will have to decide. I don't know why they have to decide this because I think it's very obvious, but they'll have to decide between first or second degree murder.
Okay. Sounds pretty premeditated to me.
And I think they have to decide that because he could be up for the death penalty, but he's in California, so.
But second degree.
Yeah, I don't see how it was. I mean, it was definitely passionate, but it wasn't.
Right.
He planned everything.
He wasn't invited in.
Right. And he had the syringe. I mean, that to me shows premeditation.
Okay.
He planned this shit.
Right. Oh my gosh.
I know. So Amie's friend, one of her really good friends, and they're so cute because all of them are like rockabilly style, very cute. Women. She flies out to Pennsylvania to do Amie's hair and makeup for the funeral.
Oh.
She said she wasn't prepared for how badly beaten up Amie was. Like, she didn't realize, she's like, I knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't know how bad. Like, she could even see the finger marks in her neck to the point where she's like, I could see fingerprints.
Oh my God. Pressed into her skin. Holy cow.
So since her death, Drew Carey has revealed that he cannot celebrate Valentine's Day.
Oh, God. Never again. No.
And there's not a day he doesn't think about her. He has a Sirius XM show, which I didn't even realize, or he used to.
Oh, I didn't. No, didn't know that.
It was called Drew Carey's Friday Night Freakout. I love it. So Drew talked about their relationship on there, and he said, back in September 2018, I was in a beautiful, great, best relationship of my life with a woman named Amie Harwick. She was a sex therapist and mental health advocate. She had a PhD and a master's degree, and she was beautiful and fun and cared deeply about people and improving their lives and was just a joy to be around. I was so in love with her. And he continues to say, even after we broke up, we still loved each other very much. Even though we broke up the engagement, I was still so in love with her, and she loved me back.
Heartbreaking.
It was so heartbreaking because I remember watching something and he was like, she was just so beautiful that I would be so embarrassed taking off my clothes in front of her. But,
oh my God.
I know. But he said she was so like into him, and his personality that she was like, you are so sexy to me. And he was like, nobody ever treated me the way she did.
Oh my God.
Heartbreaking. So a couple of things that was profound to me was this quote from a guy friend of hers. His name was Rudy Torres. When he spoke about domestic violence, I thought this was crazy. He said, a lot of this is a problem because men need to hold other men accountable. And I thought that was really profound. Like, you're right. Do guys notice these things when the guys are treating girls like this? And why don't they need to start saying, hey, that's
saying
not okay.
something, right?
You need to treat her better.
Yeah, that's not how we do things. You're not being a man.
So I thought that was kind of profound. I was like, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Like, men need to step up. But Drew Carey says he hopes Amie's death and the attention it has received will help bring more awareness to intimate partner violence and the very real dangers of stalking.
Oh my God.
He said, quote, "You can't be a person in this country and not know a woman who hasn't been a victim of domestic violence. You just can't. And that's really a problem that not enough people acknowledge."
God.
I know. So, sorry to bring it down. I know.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Some deep shit. I know. I didn't even know that about Drew Carey.
Oh
so
my
sad.
gosh.
And one of those relationships that you just don't see, but.
Oh my God.
I know. So
Man, I can't wait to see what happens we're definitely going to be doing like follow-ups and updates and stuff as we find out.
Wait till you see photos of her. She's just blow you away gorgeous and intelligent. Such a cool person, but.
Wow. That was a great story.
Thank you, man.
I had no idea that Drew Carey was tied to a murder. Not that he was involved in any way, shape,
not
or
at
form, but wow.
Neither. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, Drew Carey. One Drew Carey. I hope he doesn't take it like that we mean he's not, not like he'll ever hear
we're
us.
bringing attention to his true love's crime.
Oh, I know.
Dang.
Would you like to hear my sources?
I would love to hear your sources.
Okay. So this is a great show I found. I'm trying to think what's on Netflix, I think. Death by Fame, Season 1, Episode 1. So she is the first story on there. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Other was republicworld.com, people.com, cnn.com, cbsnews.com, and just that episode.
No Inquirer? No National Enquirer?
I did not feel it appropriate to include their
to find the dish on their engagement. Gross.
I know. At least I hope they never printed all the fake lies and stuff. And who knows if that was Gareth doing all that or it was this old friend of hers that was going after her. But
that was a great story. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for
everyone
joining us.
for listening.
Hey Oddies, thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM. If you're a longtime listener, hey, we cannot thank you enough for your continued support. And if you're a new listener, thanks for giving us a try. If you like us, please drop us a like, subscribe, or rate us so we can share our stories with more people around the world. And if you'd like more information, like links to our podcast and socials, along with our Patreon fan page, those links are all on Linktree under ODFM Podcast. That's linktr.ee/ODFM Podcast. Side note, you guys, we're obsessed with fan art, and we love making things with it, like stickers for our fans. So if you'd like us to use your designs, send it to us at odfmpodcast@gmail.com. And if we use your design, we'll be sure to send you a sticker.
Thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM, hosted by Kelly DeVries and Jenna Swanson. Production and editing by Kelly DeVries. Theme music by Eric Swanson. ODFM is a satirical true crime podcast for entertainment purposes only. The stories you hear are serious and true. The comments and opinions are not. We apologize if any of our content is harmful or disrespectful.